You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. So let's do a chit chat about the specifications. The screen itself is a 4.3 inches. So it runs on Emulation 4.3, have around like 26 emulators, the quad Cortex A55 that runs on 1.8 GHz, a total of 4 GB of, let's say, RAM and a 64 GB of capacity of storage. But that has more to do with the SD card, so we can just change it out. So what I understand of the toilet paper metal, a maximum to 128 GB. In total we're having a battery of 4000 milliamp. Okay, so in the menu this thing looks absolutely amazing. I think like the display is such a strange but very positive experience. And when you're looking at all of the games you can play, yeah, if you don't implement bezels, it's going to be looking very strange. It's going to be like super ultra, like widescreen shenanigans gaming. But when you're looking at the PlayStation Portable, so let's start off this. And yeah, this is absolutely maybe a very cool device to play PlayStation Portable. Because when it comes to, let's say, the God of War or other games you want to play on this, yeah, this is absolutely cool. Because now we can just have the absolutely overall enjoyment of having the PlayStation Portable game being played. Now I won't say the right resolution, but to the point that it's going to have like a great overall experience, because normally it's going to be cropped up due of the, let's say, the 640 by 480 display, and this is exactly how you should play it. Alright, so I already mentioned before, the audio itself is quite good on this device. I wish they went for the dual speaker. The volume can be adjusted fairly easy with the front buttons over here. Pressing select start will give you the menu where you can make a quick load, quick save, but you cannot do anything of tweaking. So this is more like a fixed system. And if you don't want to think and just want to play, this is absolutely one of the ways to go to. But overall performance on the PlayStation Portable with a chipset like this, it's like stuttering craziness, so it's not the best overall experience. You can just see it stutters here and there. They did place the button in the right configuration. And just playing some PlayStation Portable is absolutely a joy, beside the stutters of course. So let's do a little bit of a God of War testing. Okay, let's shut down the lights in the studio so because this looks so much better for recording. The display or the screen at front is really reflective, so it's quite difficult to overall, let's say, record. But you can just see how choppy the overall experience is. It's kind of on, let's say, a downside to these devices. So where this thing is absolutely great for PlayStation Portable, when it comes to the display itself, it's for emulation performance not the best way to play. So yeah, this is actually what you can expect when it comes to the device like this from this price point. Alright, and just want to make a quick save for fun to see how fast it will load up. So the loading is going to be almost instantly, but the archiving or saving takes a little bit more time. Okay, so when it comes to PlayStation Portable, we can play some games, but some of them will be choppy and will need to be a very cool overall experience. I do wonder what happens if you're going to be looking into some basic gaming, if some of the less basic games are actually on this thing. But so far, it's so good. Many different games to play. So let's also go further with some other titles. For example, having a MAME, Atari, the arcade system, PC Engine, NES. And yeah, we also have an N64 over here, but that would be the same thing like the PlayStation Portable. I know that already. We do over the overall performance of PlayStation Portable and of course the chipset. But there is actually so much we can test, so let's go. Okay, so let's try some PlayStation Portable with some really basic gaming to see how this actually runs and did it configure it correctly. So far so good. So this actually what I want to showcase. So what happens if you're going to be playing like some really basic games. That seems to be running just fine. So Tekken had a lot of stuttering but was still playable, and that's actually what I want to also showcase over here, that there are still games for the PlayStation playable, but you need to look into which one will be the best overall experience for you. There we go. Yeah, I love this game so much. I've played it, bought it on so many devices now. Crazy. So let's move on to the N64, because this is absolutely a very difficult device. Or at least a very difficult platform to play on a device like this. Yeah, and this is absolutely one of those, let's say, clear situation that this is not the way you want to experience a N64. Even with some basic games like Forsaken 64, this is not playable at all. There we go. going through the intro. Oh yeah, let's be honest, this is not the way how you want to play. So let's get to the gameplay and let's try something else. Where I may be trying a couple of like very difficult emulated games. The reason I'm showcasing this is that this is just one of those favorite games I want to play, but it doesn't work at all. Look at how stuttering this is. I really don't understand why they keep adding N64 to this, because it is not the overall experience you want to have when it comes to revisiting the old school games. Let's see if the game is going booting up. Yep, it's going to be stuttering like crazy again. Yeah, like the 4-second 64, this is not the way how you actually want to play this. Yeah, this is just unplayable. Okay, so I wanted to check out some Game Boy Advance. Pressing Y here, we're giving the filter option where we can just filter the game. So that is so much convenient. So let's try one of my favorite games. Ah, there we go. Okay, that works like a charm. So let's boot it up. It's going to be widescreen shenanigans all over again. So where the aspect ratio of the normal Game Boy Advance is slightly different to the original Game Boy Color and Classic. Yeah, this is not still the way you actually want to play, man. This looks absolutely weird. It's kind of an, let's say, downside that they didn't went for this option to use this thing with some bezel, because that will really benefit. Alright, so let's get into some Sonic the Hedgehog. Emulation performance is just great, no problem whatsoever here. Of course we can make a quick save if you want to. That was like the wrongest moment I did a quick save. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I'm pressing, of course, the home button will do the same thing. I'm pressing select to start. It's kind of cool that they added the special button over here. The form factor was one of the things that really appealed to me, because I am a big fan of the Game Boy Classic. The grey look with the very nice looking colored buttons, this thing is absolutely awesome to look at. But when I'm holding it in my hand, this thing is very comfortable, and that's thanks to, let's say, the form factor, particularly when you're looking at the huge grips at the back. So yeah, this thing is very comfortable to hold, and the positioning of the buttons, it's kind of strange, because I would say like move the buttons a little bit to the right, and the same goes for the joystick, but the overall, let's say, comfortability is quite comfortable, and I must say I do like the way how this thing looks and how it feels. However, the display they're using, it's kind of weird. The form factor, or at least the aspect ratio, is like super ultra wide, and that makes no sense whatsoever. But the quality of the display, they did an amazing job with that. If you think about it, it's not like the most expensive device out there. We're getting into the point that we're having some crazy, like, good displays and low, let's say, priced like products. But yeah, well, this thing looks kind of cool when you're looking at the main menu. When you're getting into the games, it's a very strange overall experience. At the bottom, finding the on and off, let's say, switch, and I must say that I'm a big fan of these things, simply because it's just so much easier to turn it on and off than by holding the button and need to exit the menu and all the craziness. Input for the DC or powering, let's say, the device itself, and charging, and the headphone jack has also been implemented at the bottom, and in here we're finding the TF card. Okay, so let's chit chat about the TF card or the micro SD card, because these things are most of the time non-branded. CHPS, yeah, you know, that's the major problem with these devices nowadays. You don't know if they're going to have a good quality. Some of them can get corrupted automatically, out of nothing. So at the back we're finding the 4 shoulder buttons. With the first generation of handhelds we had a lot of problems with the configuration of them, but you can just see the way how they've placed it. And absolutely amazing. When you're holding it, you can just very easily like touch all the buttons itself. Thanks to, let's say, the curve they implemented in this, that also has a combination of, let's say, the grip, and you can just easily like touch them and just use them. And this is absolutely great, and is one of the, let's say, positive features of the device itself. I am more of a D-pad gamer when it comes to retro games, so yeah, the positioning is not my favorite one. This is more like an Xbox style, with the positioning of the joystick at the left top and the right bottom corner. Yeah, when it comes to the SD configuration, it's very strange. So we're having 4 buttons, that's not strange at all, but the way how everything plays. Select start, we have over here plus minus, and the 2 joysticks that also have a click. The D-pad itself feels very nice, to be honest. So especially when you're looking at the curve that comes with it, the way how it feels is absolutely great. Alright, so let's see, can we open it up like this, or is this just a very strange, annoying construction? Oh boy. Oh, I must say the two shells are clamped together fairly well. Let's see if I can every different one. There we go. Now open it up. There we go, there we go, there we go. Getting into the zone there. Can we open it up? All right. So let's do a quick look in here. So what is kind of a weird thing that we don't have any cooling going on. Let's place it next to each other and let's see. So first of all, I do wonder, this chip is not getting like really hot. So the battery can be replaced. So the battery is getting really hot, by the way. So this is a 4000 milliamp battery indeed. So the buttons will directly go on the micro switches over there. But in here we're finding the rock chip, the RK3566, one that we've seen in many different devices. Great for, let's say, some basic emulation. Where it plays portable N64, it's not powerful enough. So what is possible to replace the battery fairly easy? If you're finding a replacement, you can buy them from AliExpress. You're ordering with the right connector, you can just plug it in, plug it out, like use some double-sided tape and you're just done. So that's absolutely great. So this is one of those random like devices that drop out of, let's say, the AliExpress stores. Yeah, it's kind of weird and it came out of nothing. Having not like a clear label what it actually is, an R43 Pro or another labeled, like say relabeled device. Yeah, it's not the same situation like Paukidi or Eminik, but still, this thing is not super bad. I love the D-pad, the positioning, it's okay. I'm more like preferring the D-pad over here, but that's more like a personal thing. Emulation performance of PlayStation Portable is mixed, and 64, you should not buy it for that. Yeah, and of course the mono speaker, I already mentioned before, I don't like that part. Thank you all for watching, consider subscribing, and it will be great to see you in the next video.